Hi Scorpio, hope you guys are doing great today. Welcome to your general messages for Sunday the 14th to Sunday the 22nd. Let's get right into things. I'm just going to be doing a bunch of spreads today. I'm going to be interpreting them for career, for money, for relationship, for family, whatever comes up. Whatever comes up. So I'm going to do a general, I'm going to pull a couple of crownings here to get some advice, some messages of what's going on. We're going to use Moonology. We're going to use the Healing Oracle and the Wisdom of the Oracle. And I'm going to first pull just a general Celtic cross spread to get a general vibe, and then I'll break it down into more specific spreads. First thing up is clean it up. So clean it up really is about what's left hanging in your life right now. You know, and what in your backyard, because clean it up is all about you recognizing that you can't mitigate other people's stuff. You can only fix stuff that's going on for you, but it's time for you to actually look at and see where what needs addressing in your life right now. What needs addressing? What might be getting in the way of that business opportunity, getting that job, dealing with that relationship, that friendship, that family situation? What needs to be addressed? You can't just leave it like laying around. It's time to address something in your life right now. But again, you cannot clean up somebody else's backyard. You can only clean up your backyard, right? Adjustments are required. Quarter moon. Quarter moon. Somebody else got this. I don't remember who. I think maybe Gemini. I'm not sure. I'm not sure, but I think so. But adjustments are required. Third quarter moon. That's exactly what this is. So something needs addressing that's going on in your life. There need to be adjustments made. Things need to be looked at and dealt with. Temptation. Ooh, okay. Scorpio. That's such a Scorpio card. Right? Because Scorpio, it's that 8th house. It does rule sex and stuff. So we have this idea of temptation. So temptation is not only about relationship, though, for goodness sake. It's just the temptation to do something different, something other, feeling tempted to go on a separate path. It could certainly be the idea of feeling tempted by another individual if you're in a relationship, but not everybody's in a relationship. So that energy can kind of span out and say, you might be tempted to do something else for a living. You might be tempted to just kind of break free. A lot of you just might be in the space of just wanting to just break free, right? You're going to have this new, the astrological new year, the equinox. It's going to be happening in your 6th house. And your 6th house is your mental, physical, emotional health. It has to do with your day-to-day. It has to do with your job. And it's also the house of problems where we solve problems. So you might be just looking for a different experience in your day-to-day. You just might be looking for that and feel very tempted to just say, you know what? The hell with all of this. I want to just go. Right? But you can't just go. You can't just do that. Some sort of adjustment is definitely needed. You need to address something that you might not want to be dealing with right now. Something to keep in mind. Scorpio, Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus. Remember, guys, these are general messages. Try not to make them fit if they don't fit. If it's not your message, maybe we get you next time. Okay, so this first Celtic cross spread we're going to be dealing with is just general. So let's just pull and see what we get and where it takes us. Okay, starting off with the Judgment, and then we have the 8 of Cups. Okay, Page of Pentacles. Okay. So we have the 6 of Swords coming into this energy, and the 6 of Swords is moving away from anything that's toxic. This could certainly manifest mentally rather than physically, at least for the moment, where there's this element of detachment, you know what I mean? Like when you're kind of detaching from a situation. Or you could just be taking some time away from something. So this could be a person, if it's a relationship. It could be an intimate person, a marriage partner, a family member, a friend, even taking a break maybe from work for a minute, just allowing some space for there to do some internal work. Some of you, this could even be maybe literal travel. You guys were doing some sort of traveling for a situation. The situation right now, though, we have the Judgment energy, and that's being crossed by the Eight of Cups. So let's talk about the Judgment energy first and different ways that this can manifest. So if this is in relationship, this is about assessment, first of all. So this could be a love situation or even a friendship, right? Being assessed, and it's shifting into a new phase. So there might be this need for reconnection or reconciliation, or, you know, just kind of looking at things and saying, you know what, everybody did the best that they knew how in the moment. What's done is done. We need to just forgive. And what that means for you is going to be very individual. Is it like, let's forgive and move on separately, or let's forgive and move on and try to fix this? It's going to be, you know, different for everything, for each of you. Now, if you're single, you know, when you're not with anybody, somebody could come back from the past, like this old relationship, and you decide if it's worth trying again. Others of you might have old friends popping back into your life out of nowhere. If this has to do with career or money, acknowledgement for your success coming in and finances improving. So this is really, really good. But you want to be careful here because there is this element of the past. So just because somebody comes back doesn't mean that you have to go back with them. Just saying, okay? Because I do feel a lot of like, I could just come across that a lot, right? Just, you know, depending on what the situation was. But it does indicate like something from the past coming up, because it's a Pluto energy, and Pluto's all about digging up the past for us to look at. Some of you may even be making a decision about a property, either selling a property, buying a property, or you find yourself drawn to an old property or a place that holds really happy memories for you. But this is being challenged here by the Eight of Cups. So the Eight of Cups, yeah. So the Eight of Cups is this is about departure and change and having a high EQ, right? Emotional intelligence, knowing something doesn't feel right, and knowing that it's time to move on, and feeling this element of sadness, but not having regret really, right? Because in a way it is kind of like emotionally checking out already. And we have this with the Six of Swords, with the Eight of Cups. I mean, it just does seem like the assessment of whatever situation this is working with this idea of moving on. So there may be this assessment and then this moving on. So for some of you, you may be leaving a work situation because something new has come across your desk or has been offered to you that's going to be more of an acknowledgement of what your skill set is, right? And you ending up making a lot, you know, more money, it being a good move for you. Excuse me. Some of you may be in a space where you're leaving, you're making the decision to step away from a relationship. But again, there's this idea of like, there's an element of forgiveness, of understanding that you did the best that you could given the circumstances, and so did they. Really, it does seem like that's the situation right now. There's this pulling away, this moving away from something. Now, we have the Page of Pentacles as the crowning energy. So for those of you who I just mentioned with career, the Page of Pentacles can indicate a new position coming in, right? And your talent really showing here. This is also about money news coming in, right? Progress, very auspicious beginning regarding finances, business, any offer made on a property. Some of you, I'm just kidding, some of you maybe who applied for college, finding out that you're getting accepted, right? Because this has to do with education as well, could have to do with that. Or even some sort of mental, physical, emotional connection, a beginning in that. Pay attention to finances though in this energy, you know, for sure. But it's very good, right? And that's the best to be achieved, is always the crowning. So that looks good. Now we have the Four of Pentacles as the foundation. Like really what's happening right now is that there's a lot of focus on security and protecting yourself and watching your resources so that you can have a firm foundation. I feel like this is a lot like on the lips of a lot of you, where this is a big part of the conversation. Having this firm foundation, moving into a position in your life where you feel more secure. You know, now for some of you, particularly if you've been working full time, this can indicate somebody may be offering you a full-time job, right? This could be like that kind of thing. Maybe you're just very focused on this idea of security. If it has to do with relationship and nothing to do with money, you could be in this space of feeling very self-protective, right now. Very protective of self. Really focusing on improving your situation though, you know? focusing on improving your situation so that things can be more firmly grounded in your life. Well, right now you're in conflict with somebody. You know, this is about competition, battle of wills, not agreeing, everybody having very strong opinions, fighting to be heard. You know, it's that kind of thing. Problems with pragmatics too. Like if it has to do with, you know, work, with like problems with scheduling, pay attention to signing any sort of documents in this energy, particularly because it came up in the you space. So just be careful. I'm not saying not to do it. I'm just saying read the fine print very carefully. So, you know, that could have to do with career, particularly if, like if you're starting this new job. Make sure you get everything in writing. You ask all the important questions. You know what I mean. For others of you, if you're in relationship with anyone having to do with either an intimacy or family or anything like that, it's like opinions, battle of the will kind of thing. Look, it's a minor arcana. It's not the end of the world. This is not a long-lasting energy. And I often consider the Five of Wands necessary conflict because somebody's viewpoint is not being acknowledged. And so that may be the space that you find yourself in right now, just trying to get your perspective heard. But they may feel like you're not hearing them, you know? So it's that kind of thing. So the external energy that's influencing you right now. So this is not you. This is an external energy. We have the Nine of Wands, and this is in the reverse. So this does indicate defensiveness. Somebody's feeling very defensive right now. Trying to have faith in a situation still, but I feel like you may be dealing with somebody who's kind of paranoid, who maybe they have a reason to feel paranoid, maybe they don't, I don't know, but this kind of external energy is impacting you right now. So somebody thinking that maybe you have ulterior motives, somebody thinking that you're not in something 100%, something like that. You know, and then you have to ask the big question, like, why would they be feeling like that? You know, maybe you're not, maybe you are. I mean, there is a lot of moving away here, but maybe you have not really sort of opened up and said, you know what, I'm really kind of not into this in the same way as I was for fill in the blank. It sounds very kind of callous to say that, like regarding a relationship, but that's sort of what I'm getting here. Now we have in your challenge position, we have the Ten of Pentacles. All right. So this is your block here. So for some of you, the Ten of Pentacles, the block here in your situation could be the idea of family. So maybe you're having a hard time leaving that situation, that marriage, that situation because of family. Having this, I mean, this could go any way. If it has to do with work, maybe you're really worried about leaving a situation because you have family commitments. Others of you, maybe you don't want to leave that marriage or that situation because you don't want to not be with your children, or you don't want, you really don't want your family to fall apart, right? But there is this idea of maturity as being a challenge here, right? Challenged in being able to deepen the commitment and challenge in finding those shared values. There could be a challenge also in the ability to find a property, maybe that you guys, so say if you guys are married, finding a home for you guys to live in, there could be problems with that. Or if you're in business, having a hard time finding that property to settle on where you can open your business, right? But this is also about legacy and inheritance and sharing and having issue with that, right? Something about that is blocking you. Something about this is blocking you here. But what I see in the near future, this is so strange how these cards are going. In the near future, we have the King of Pentacles. So the King of Pentacles is somebody who really does not want to give up something that, how do I say this? Like this energy is no patience for anyone looking to take what's his or hers, right? I mean, tarot doesn't acknowledge gender here. He's a very generous, hard-working individual, really likes to be in something settled, wants to be settled in that job, wants to be settled in that relationship, whatever like that, but has no patience for somebody to come in and take, like if somebody wants to come in and take their money, or in relationship, if somebody wants to come in and sort of tell them what to do and how to be, and almost like a smothering energy, right? You want to be careful of that. Scorpios don't respond well to that because you guys do like your freedom. So it could be anything like that. But this could be dealing with some sort of business situation or even partnership situation where there's discord because of money, because of some sort of presumption regarding money. What's expected, what's not, who's showing up how, all of that. So definitely could be that. We have this Ace of Swords in the near future. So the Ace is always brand new. Now, if this has to do with relationships, this is getting over any sort of obstacles that have been cooking up to this point and getting what you want, like really thoughts becoming things here. But this is just auspicious for all areas of your life. This is a new beginning energy, decisions, clear thinking in everything, in work and love, any area of your life that's requiring clear thinking right now, immediate change of your circumstances for the better, being super mentally agile, which I like. Mentally agile and assertive. Why do I like that? Because when you're mentally agile, you're going to be able to get past this Five of Wands energy without a sweat, right? Because it's about being able to understand somebody else's situation, being empathetic, being very clear about what it is that you want, being very clear about what it is that you want. Let's see. Anything else we need to know about? You know, pulling between this near future and this final outcome, we do have the Empress energy. So there could be the idea of pregnancy involved in this somewhere, right? You know, Ace of Swords is this mental clarity, realizing something. So learning that you're pregnant, that's going to be for some of you. For others of you, you know, it depends on the age and stage that you're at. The Empress is the mother of the tarot, though. So it's all about fertility and the ability to grow something. So it could have to do with mothering, parenting, but it could also have to do with growing something, growing a business, growing a relationship, growing something in a way where it becomes just better and better and better, right? It's just about mothering something. It's a Venus energy, right? So Venus has to do with money, love, and it also has to do with self-esteem, as Venus always wants to like check to make sure that we're feeling like good in something. But I do want to say that the shadow manifestation of the Empress energy, you want to be careful, could be jealousy, could be very manipulative behavior. So you want to be careful that you're not being manipulative and that nobody is trying to do that to you. So but I do see there is this element of growth, but you might have to wait a minute. We have the Sun reverse. It's okay. The Sun is, there's never a negative interpretation of the Sun ever. This just indicates like temporary waiting. You might be a little bummed out right now in the moment because it's temporary though. It's going to pass. And then you're going to have the Sun upright. You know what I mean? Which is amazing. The Sun upright is about, you know, just success, things going really well, good health, creating what it is that you want, as long as it's good for you. If it's good for you, it's going to be a beautiful thing. So that's what we have for that as the first laying down of the cards to get a general idea of what's happening. Now let's pull for those of you Scorpios in relationship. So I'm going to pull a Celtic cross spread for you, and then I'm just going to pull some separate energies for someone that you might be dealing with. Could be a marriage partner, somebody you're dating, somebody you're thinking about, somebody from your past, however you resonate with it. Ooh, we got the Empress again coming into this energy. Four of Wands. Okay, so some mixed messages here. So we have the Empress energy. So this is for, you know, you here. So coming into this energy, you want to grow in this relationship. You want, depending again on the age and stage you're at, you want to have children with this person. You want to be able to parent together. Maybe your kids are older, it has to do with parenting, or you just want to grow in the relationship. Whatever that means. Buying that house together, getting married, getting engaged, even if you've been married for 20, 30, 40 years, whatever it is, growing, deepening, right? It really is about that. So I do feel like that's where you're at in relationship. That's really what you want, right? You want something that you can absolutely grow in. Situation right now, we have the Five of Coins in the reverse. So this can, for some of you, this can indicate maybe you have some sort of new job opportunity, which did kind of pop up here. But this is about a new home. Maybe many of you are buying a new home, thinking about a new home, but this is about hope returning and being able to get past something And we have this working with the Ace of Cups. So the Ace of Cups is just a strong love and support is being challenged here, though. So it's like this Five of Coins energy, which is about this hope returning, is being challenged by the Ace of Cups, right? Where it's like, because it can be a cross or compliment, but because I'm feeling very strongly like, and I have to go with what I'm feeling. The Ace of Cups, it's like this very emotional energy. It's about prioritizing. It's about having a lot of love. I don't feel like the love is but support. It's this idea of support. So I don't know if there's if right now, right, at like the reading of this, right, for this week, if there's enough support for to have this return of hope in the relationship. I feel like you feel it from them or they feel it from you, because this is just what you're vibing the situation right now. There's not enough support of something coming in, not enough support of a situation. It doesn't, and now these are minor arcana, some minor arcana. I'm not feeling like, it just feels like for now, there were misunderstandings. There's a lack of support. We have the crowning energy as the Princess of Swords. So yeah, I mean, this is something very useful information is going to be coming in. This can indicate you getting help from people around you to further what it is that you guys are trying to focus on in relationship coming in. So I feel like you might be dealing with somebody who's kind of insensitive and just sort of forthright with their words, but they're very much relying on their mental space, really trying to focus on the mind, on the practical elements of a situation. So this could indicate, again, somebody coming in to help you out. So maybe, I don't know, somebody helping you out to buy that home, to open that business, to, if you're wanting to have a baby, maybe you're meeting and you're trying and it's no go. Maybe you're meeting fertility specialist, something like that. It does seem like there's some sort of help that's going to be coming in, which is the best to be achieved here. It does seem like there's going to be some help. We have in having to do with the situation that's very challenging right now. Now we have the Ten of Cups as the foundation energy. So Ten of Cups is really nice, about family contentment, benefits of security. It's just been a really good time for family, partnership, whatever you have been working on within this relationship. It all kind of finally coming together, whatever that is, right? So maybe finding out that you're pregnant, maybe finally being able to get married or get engaged or get that home or buy that business or do that fill in the blank thing that you guys have been trying to really work towards. Now, I do want to say that for those of you who are single, I just want to kind of circle back for a second. We have this idea of you being very focused on being able to find somebody to grow, because maybe you want to have a family or you just want to grow in something, right? And you feel ready for it, but your challenge here isn't actually meeting anybody who is who's kind of like fitting the bill for you. You might be in this space where it's just like, oh no, just not really meeting anybody right now. And to have the crowning energy here, though, with the Princess of Swords, this is about something very useful coming in, because it's an air energy. It could be somebody online, for sure, like you meeting somebody online. If you're going to be because Princess is new, it's a new cycle, so it could be meeting somebody new, right? Via the internet. It could certainly be where you can end up having this Ten of Cups energy, but this is at least where your mind is at right now. But we have the Eight of Cups that represents you right now. So right now you're sort of walking away from something. Now, for those of you who are single, Saturn and Pisces, you may be everybody's in a very heightened emotional intelligence state right now, right? Understanding what feels right, what doesn't feel right, for all of you Scorpios. But for those of you who are single, you may be just moving away from the idea of being single and allowing yourself to open up more, or whatever it is that you want to, however you are now, you making the decision to move away from it if it doesn't feel right. Right? And it really is this sadness but no regret kind of energy. For a lot of you, you may have already sort of left a situation so that you could just go and do some work on yourself and just really focus on you. Could certainly be that right now. But there is this, for a lot of you, you may even still be in a situation, but you sort of like emotionally checked out to be honest. Now, the energy and that's what's coming through. The energy that's external to you, that's influencing you right now, is this King of Swords energy. And the King of Swords is really more focused on the mind than the heart, as a way of taking control of circumstances. So you might be dealing with a partner who's being super practical and very, very sort of like sensible about something, and you just being like, you know what, I don't even want to hear it. Like, it could be that. It could be you just being in the space of saying, like, I'm realizing, like, maybe we just don't want the same thing. Even though you don't want to feel that way, because I see a lot of emotion here. You want to grow, you want to be in this situation, but it's like somebody is presenting you with circumstances that either A, you feel like you can't mitigate, right? You can only clean up your stuff. You know, there do need to be adjustments, but some of you just may be in the space of temptation saying, you know what, maybe there's something better on the other side of something here, because, you know, you're really not feeling it. The challenge, though, for you is the Death card. So, you know, at the end of the day, the Death is about either a relationship ending or there just being the separation. And this is a challenge for you right now. The separation is necessary if you guys are going to get back on your feet at a later date, you know. So there's this need, but this is a challenge for you. This can also indicate your living situation changing, right, with your partner, because you guys realize that where you're living no longer meets your needs. Now, for some of you, if you're married and you're realizing things aren't working out, the challenge could be like actually moving out and like taking that step. For others of you, you might be having a lot of challenges where you're realizing that your current living situations where you guys are right now, like, isn't just not working for you. It's actually not good for your relationship, and you guys need to move, but you're challenged in this way, maybe because you don't have money, or the market is really thin right now, or whatever the case is, but not being able to manifest that. But we have in the near future the Four of Wands, which I really like this energy because it's about a strong foundation. Now, for those of you who are single, this can be a new partner opening up their heart and expressing their love and affection for you. Very much a honeymoon energy too. For those of you who are in that space, maybe is there's an element of completion here. You know, it's kind of like reaching a certain point in a relationship. So whatever you're working on within this relationship, it going well and it flourishing and just kind of being very open with each other, okay? Particularly if you're in either a newish relationship or if you're just meeting somebody. Now, for those of you who are in a very long-term relationship, it does seem like there's going to be a focus on there, you guys trying to find a strong foundation together, but there's going to end up being a lot of back and forth where there's this challenge here with the 7 here as the final outcome. The 7 of Wands is about obstacles, right? You have the resiliency to overcome whatever it is, right? Success is in reach, but you're going to be focused on like what's right and wrong, like morality, your personal philosophy being super important for you. But you're in the space though where you feel like you need to fight for the relationship, at least temporarily, right? And which is fine. Stand up for the relationship, fight for the relationship. If you feel like your partner's in that same space as you, go for it. Go for it, whatever that means, right? You just want to make sure that that loyalty would be returned to you. So you might be in the space of fighting with family, with friends, or fighting for something within the relationship where it's like, I don't know, if you're fighting with, if you and your partner feel like there's some sort of change that needs to be made in your relationship, and you may need help from somebody outside of your connection, and they have the power or the means to help you, but you may be arguing with that person over maybe their lack of willingness or how they might be able to help you. It's a very oddly specific message. I hope that's making sense to somebody. That's how it's coming in, but it does seem like that's going to be a thing for you. Let's pull for between this near future and this final outcome, this foundation and the 7 of Wands. We have the Hangwoman in the reverse. So this is about feeling like a victim, feeling like there's selfishness at play here. Somebody being a traitor, maybe somebody like just not wanting to help you out, maybe somebody thinking you're being selfish, or you identifying somebody else as being selfish. But then look, we have the Sun, so it's all going to be okay. The Sun is beautiful, right? It really is. I mean, this is about growing a beautiful connection, maybe even like just going on a vacation and getting the hell out of Dodge for a few days to reconnect. but really nice. Feeling comfortable in a home, feeling creative, good relationship with your kids if you have any, and this is a marriage thing. Good relationship with your partner, romance going well. Remember, the sun is the ruler of the 5th house of romance. So it looks like a process here, but it looks like everything's going to end well. Ultimately, let's see. All right, let's see. Let's see. Okay. Let's pull some energies on the person that you're dealing with. Okay. And then we'll pull some cards on career. Extra messages there too. But let's just see if we can't get a subjective read on a person that you might be dealing with. Temperance, the world. Oh, hello. You like those? Okay. Queen of Swords. Oh, we got 2 queens. Some sort of rivalry, something. We have a queen upright and a queen reverse. So some sort of rivalry going on here in this relationship. Who brings what to the table? I work more than you. I do more than you around the house. I'm in this more than you. You blah, 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 blah. You know, that kind of thing. So let's see what we have going on here. Okay, so we have the Temperance energy to start out, which is really actually quite good, right, when it comes to relationship, because there's this new level of trust and understanding that's had after a really difficult time period. So I do like that. And this kind of where they're at, right, energetically. It's very emotionally intense time, but they're like, what do you need? What do I need? What does the situation need? So it's somebody who's coming in saying, okay, you know, what's going on? Let's try to figure this out. And it may be after a period of separation, right? You guys might be separated right now, or at least if it's not in some kind, yeah, I mean, that's what the Death is, just either it's done totally, or I just feel like maybe you guys are on, you know, in a weird space right now. You're not very connected, and you know, this energy wants to come in and sort of temper the situation. It does seem like that, right? Because this is a difficult energy. It just is. But this could also have to do with the living arrangements, remember, right? Your living circumstances changing because you're realizing that you guys are, you know, things need to change in that way. So maybe like you have to buy that house, you have to move, you need more space, you need to downsize, whatever it is. So if you're not in separation, you might be in that space where it's like sitting down and saying, okay, how can we figure this out? We might need to strategize things a little differently. Maybe we can't buy right now. Maybe we need to do X, Y, and Z, right? Instead of what maybe we initially planned, kind of thing, right? Okay. But them definitely wanting to work something out here, it does seem like, right? And then we have the World card. So the World is great. This is about a lesson learned. This is a Saturn energy indicating that you guys have been through a lot, because Saturn puts us through a lot. But this is about finishing a Saturn lesson. So this is where the gift comes in. So as far as a relationship goes, this is about happiness and fulfilling and loving. And this is what they want, right? They really want this. They want to achieve something with you. They want to fix something. There is this wanting to fix, right? And this is because there's this element here. We have the Hangman. So the Hangman, it's an interesting energy because it's confusing, right? It's Neptune. So Neptune's always a little confusing. So this is about trying to get a different perspective, but maybe being on a little bit of like could be pressing the pause button. Doesn't necessarily have to be like a break away, but pressing the pause at least for a moment and saying, okay, you know what, in order for us to be happy, we need to step back from things. And what's being thought about here? Okay, I'm getting that the person you're dealing with, Scorpio, is asking themselves the following sort of questions-ish. You know, is Scorpio in this as much as me? Do we actually want the same things? Or am I waiting around for nothing? And if I'm not going to get the same level of commitment from Scorpio that I'm willing to give them, or they may be saying, I'm not sure if I'm able to give Scorpio the commitment that they're looking, we really need to figure out, is this worth pursuing? You know, and that's the question. And there's a stepping back. Because the World is always, though, first and foremost, is always about this realization, this culmination, learning a lesson. So there's this realization and this lesson learned that this person that you're dealing with is experiencing. It's almost like the lights are going on and them saying, hold on, are we are we in this like the same kind of thing, right? Now we have this working with the Queen of Swords in reverse. So the Queen of Swords in reverse can be a bit of a tricky energy, right? This could be a very cold person, very rigid, maybe not very unkind, just maybe not very unkind, right? Could even be kind of mean even, right? And clarifying this, we have the Queen. Oh, look at this, we got 3 queens here. Yeah, okay. I just noticed that. I'm looking at so here we have the Queen of Pentacles in the reverse. So this is somebody who's kind of greedy. And there's some sort of financial dependence on the situation. So I don't know, Scorpio, you might be dealing with somebody who's like, you know, Scorpio, come up with the money. Or, you know, having to do with the connection. Scorpio, you're not feeling, you know, I don't feel as connected to you as I want to feel. That kind of thing. But there's this rigidity, this inflexibility having to do with this person right now that's going on. It does seem like with them, this lack of flexibility with them, feeling this energy, you know, and again, this idea of greedy sounds harsh. It's like, there could also be just a little envy here as well, but it just could be like they could be financially dependent on you, or them being concerned about financial dependence, maybe you being financially dependent on them. However, it does seem like there's that idea here, which would certainly need to be cleaned up, I would say, and adjustments are required, because it seems like there's a lack of understanding here. Because then we do have the Queen of Cups, which is a great card for everything that I'm talking about here. Because in astrology, this is Gemini and Cancer, and Gemini is about communication, and Cancer is about home. So it could be literal home if that's a thing, but you know, within this connection, or just feeling safe and secure. You know, and really, I mean, this person is very loving and very giving, and they do have a very high emotional intelligence. They're not afraid of intimacy. They know what's required to make something work, and they really want to grow this. They have the Empress energy here, which is all about growth. So they want to do that. But it does seem like there's some sort of issue with who brings what to the table. And that could be as far as like money, intimacy, communication, just feeling that level of connection. There's whatever that issue is, that needs to be addressed, Scorpio. That needs to be addressed. That's where adjustments need to be made. There's got to be some cleaning up. And you want to make sure that you're not being tempted to like go down another road, unless you feel like you just are not into it anymore, obviously. But in other words, where there's some certain level of discomfort brought to the forefront. Now, some of you may be even afraid that your partner may be tempted to move on with somebody else. And that could be a thing here. You know, it can manifest differently for each of you. Okay, so that's what we have for them. Hopefully that resonated with some of you in a particular way. All right, so let's pull a few cards. We'll pull 4 cards and 4 qualifiers. How's that? Having to do with career. Get some extra messages there. Let's see what we have going on for our Scorpio friends. We got the Sun, the 5 of Cups. Oh, you got the World. You got the Hangman. All right. So much. Coins. 3 of Wands. Oh, everything's going to be fine. Whatever you're like concerned about, is it looks like something that you were trying to get into didn't work out, or some sort of deal didn't work out, but a new one came along, and it's like really gonna, it's sort of like just what the doctor ordered here. So starting off here, we have the Sun. So the Sun is, you know, it's amazing. It's just a very fortuitous energy. In numerology, it's the Wheel of Fortune, which is ruled by Jupiter. You know, the Sun is also a Leo energy. It rules Leo, 5th house of creativity. It's romance. It's other things. It has to do with children as well. But it's creativity, very entrepreneurial energy. So any kind of project, anything that you were working on, maybe launching or creating or getting out there. And then we have this working really well, right? Having it in the upright, it going really well. So let's just see the progression of things here. We have this working with the Ace of Wands. So Ace of Wands is a nice energy. It's auspicious for all areas of your life. New beginning, new enterprise, creative project, coming up with fabulous ideas. Really good. New chapter kind of energy, being really excited about something, right? But then we have the Five of Cups energy, and the Five of Cups is feeling really like bummed out about something, right? Something ending before it was able to take off. It's like a big like wah 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 kind of thing, right? And not feeling really happy about that, feeling very disappointed. Focusing on the disappointment though, but what's important to understand here are these two cups that are still standing. You don't even see them. You're just focusing on the three cups that are down. But these two cups are what's going to bring this, which is all about a new job, a new opportunity, a new contract, a new lease, a new whatever it is that's going to, a new offering is going to come in. And that is the World energy. So remember, the World, as I mentioned a few moments ago, is Saturn. So you've been working really hard on some sort of project, working really hard at something to establish yourself. And the World card means goal completed, lesson learned. There's the culmination of something, right? Something coming to the forefront, achieving goals. This could be a new position, a promotion, award, something where your status is rising. And I feel like this has to do with you just kind of going in another direction than where you've been. This is one of the good energy with the good fortune cards. This is about thriving business, very busy, intense period. Just moving on to realize your plans. You might be dealing with people in a situation that either you never met these people before, so it's brand spanking new, and they're not in your life right now, or you getting into something that's just very different than anything that you've ever done. This is no time, I always say this with this energy, no time to hide your fabulous. Balance is super important here though, really, but uniqueness is something different, I really like it. I really like, that's where you're moving into. Now we have the Hangman energy clarified by the Queen of Swords. So Hangman energy means you have this opportunity, but it's not totally clear to you. It's just not, right? Things may be unclear with some sort of situation right now. If you're feeling unclear about something, don't stress about it. Just hold back on signing any contracts or dealing with any sort of like legal matters. Things might be going on that you're not really yet aware of, but intuitively you vibe it because you guys are the detectives of the zodiac. So you may be experiencing some delays, but ultimately you're totally protected here. But just keep those spidey senses turned on way up. This all looks good. Just a little like to be forewarned, just to be forearmed. And then we have the Queen of Swords, really good energy here. Just being very determined, standing strong, really trying to figure out, and this is what's funny. In astrology, this is a Virgo and Libra energy, but I always feel like this is such a Scorpio energy because there's such a motivation to find out the truth and the psychological motivation of a person or a situation, right? Wanting to get to the truth of the matter, right? That's such a Pluto thing, and you guys are ruled by Pluto. But anyway, I feel like that this is going to go really well. So there's something though that's being offered to you. You're kind of going in this direction, but you're sort of on the precipice of it, right? You're just starting something, but you just don't feel like you have all the information. Yeah, things feel up in the air right now, okay? And we have the Two of Coins, which is about needing to decide between two situations. You might have two offers coming in, actually. Oh, hello. My goodness, Ten of Cups, how fabulous. I mean, this is great. It's all fine. I mean, this is about the benefits of security, things coming together. If you've been in this space where it's like you feel like you're doing this, you're doing that, you're talking to this one, you're trying to do this, get all of these different pieces, all these moving pieces together in the Ten of Cups energy, it finally comes together after things being up in the air. So this looks really good. That is what I have for you, my friends. I hope this was helpful. Thank you so much for joining me, and I will see you guys next time. Bye-bye.